What's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome to JW's Radio. That's right, it's Saturday morning, so thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you don't have to work. You can grab your coffee and relax, kick up your boots or your bare feet, shoes, slippers, whatever. I gotta have my coffee in the morning for these things. No. Alright, so we got some pretty cool questions that got asked. We got a puzzle to take care of. We got a lot of cool things to talk about. And, of course, we got a little show and tell this time around. So, alright. Let's kick it off with some of the questions that the fans have asked. You guys, the viewers, the people that make all this happen. So, anyway, let's get started with that. Again, I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong, or I apologize if I'm saying it wrong or whatnot in ahead. So, it's all in good fun. 148 DMC. Did you ever buy a gun you didn't like? That is a good question. Let's say a lot of my guns I've bought is because it's either because it was inspired to me by a movie that I kind of enjoyed watching for a long time as a youngster or whatnot, but not one initially that I bought. I guess you could say, I guess it would be everybody buys it but then finds out they don't like it, I guess you could say. Yeah, there has been a few that I bought that I wound up not liking. I had bought this 1911 once, and I had it, and the more I had it. Now, the reason I didn't like it, for instance, this is we're talking about a Remington R1 that was, I wound up selling it to a friend of mine, which I actually oddly regret. I had this Remington R1 1911, and when I first got it, it was my first 1911, really. I wanted it for the old school look. I wanted it because it was close to the GI look. But as I had it and messed with it, the one things I didn't like was it had a silver trigger, and it had a silver barrel and a silver barrel bushing. And that to me subtracted from the old school look, because obviously the old GI guns were all black. I've actually tried to paint it, those things black and everything. This was before I really knew anything about taking things apart and messing with them. I wound up eventually changing out the front barrel bushing to a blued one. But in the end, that gun, and I didn't like the way it shot. The trigger was, I'm not trying to badmouth Remington, but the trigger sucked. It just did. It shot very low, if I remember right. It shot very low. Yeah, I believe that was it. It shot very low. I'm just trying to remember. It's been so long. But anyway, in the end, that gun wound up getting all new parts inside of it. It had very good custom parts put into it, good trigger. It basically, once I was done Frankensteining that gun out, it wound up being a very good gun. But as times would have it, during that moment, I did sell it, and it got led away. But I actually do regret it. I would actually, then again, a lot of guns I've sold, I wish I didn't, but it's okay. They come and go. I've had other ones that I bought later that I wound up not liking. I'd not want to say too much on it, but I did buy one that the outside of the gun looked amazing. It was a revolver, and when I popped later on, I learned why the trigger, I was like, man, this gun looks so clean on the outside, but the trigger is so gritty, I thought, wow, and I paid a lot for it. The guy definitely, that was what spawned me to making all those videos you see on my channel, like don't get ripped off buying collectible guns and stuff like that, because I did, and I learned the expensive way, and that's why I was hoping that I could make videos and share with you folks if you guys are just kind of like starting out, because in a way I wish somebody would have helped me out instead of me throwing away hundreds of dollars and just not knowing and believing what the salesman's trying to tell me, right? Anyway, no, it was this little Smith & Wesson, and I wound up popping a side plate off of it later as I grew more intelligent, I guess you could say. And it was it looked like somebody threw the gun in the salt water and then cleaned up the outside and forgot about the inside. That basically, anyway, so that wound up being a gun I didn't like, and I've gotten rid of that one too. But and I cleaned it up inside, and it was definitely way better than when I bought it. So anyway, all right, moving on. So hopefully that answers your question. You know, in a sense, I mean, yeah, we all buy guns, and initially we like them, and I think we grow to dislike them. I don't think any of us goes, I don't really like that gun, but I'm gonna buy it anyway. Well, at least I know. But anyway, Varen asked a question that was kind of interesting, and I guess you could say, yeah, I don't know how you could answer it in a sense. He kind of focused on that, Varen did, and he said most of the comments seem to be trying to make others look bad, I guess you could say. For asking a question, well, it's interesting because for me, working in a gun shop, you know, hunting shop kind of a thing, you know, we meet newbies, you know, could say that, you know, for us, you know, a lot of us gun, you know, oriented people that we just, this is what we do, you know, kind of thing. It's like using a spoon. You don't think about when you're using a spoon or fork or whatever, you know. You don't think about it. It's just a natural thing, you know. So I guess that is the way, like, we look at, a lot of us that are gun savvy look at it. Of course, we don't know everything, right? I don't know everything. I know far from it. Anyway, you know, some of these people are afraid to ask that simple question. Like, I've had people say, well, you know, I've heard it, or they may have heard it or something, but they're afraid to ask it because they don't want to look stupid, you know. Like, I had a customer one time ask me, he's like, I have a 357 Magnum, but isn't there something called a 357 short or something? And what he was actually referring to is the fact that he had heard that a 357 Magnum will be able to shoot 38 special because the casing's just slightly shorter, and it's a little less power, as we all know. Well, anyway. But kind of hesitant on asking that question because he didn't want to seem stupid. You know, it is hard, and especially with you know, something like this media form where, you know, everything is available for everybody to read. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. And then other people want to belittle others and whatnot. You know, it's kind of hard to go about that. But yeah, it is kind of a question that's, you know, out there, a little bit strange. Okay, let's move on here. Hopefully that somewhat answers the question. Andreas Ricardo, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He says, what are the gun laws like in Hawaii? It is not as bad as it, how could you say this? It looks real bad on paper, but it's actually, once you get the process down, it's not very bad at all. First of all, let's start with the easiest, which is long guns. Anything like a shotgun or AR-15 or hunting rifle, any of that. Basically, if it's a rifle or a shotgun, it classifies as a long gun. First of all, you can't have any Class 3 stuff here. So let's just count that out. No SBRs, no SBSs. For those of you that don't know what that is, short-barreled rifles and short-barreled shotguns. Basically, the federal legal length or whatever it is for a shotgun is 18 inches. For a rifle, it's 16 inches. So, no, you can't have anything shorter than that. It is illegal here. But once you get how it is for those of you that are familiar with the way they do it in most shops, in other states, is they do NICS programs. So they're able to go right there in the gun shop, check out the background, and get it over with in like a few minutes. Out here, they don't do that. Everything is processed through the police department. So when you go to get your long gun permit, so to say, they do the NICS program then. It takes a couple of weeks. They do all their paperwork and all that. But once you get the physical permit, which is a piece of paper, it's been notarized by the state, it is good for 1 whole year. So up to that year, you can take that permit, that paper, with your photo ID and everything, all that, go into a gun shop, or, you know, if you want to do a private sale, you just fill out the forms, and basically right there on the spot, walk away with that shotgun or rifle, and then you got to take it down to the police department and register it. This is who I got it from. The police department issues everybody a unique serial number for their ownership of that particular gun. So, all right, moving on to the pistols part of it. The pistols is a little bit more stuff to do. For say, you have to either go get a hunter's education class done, which is I didn't do it because I think it's like 3 or 4 nights or something like that, and I kind of disagree with it, even though I know that from other people that have told me they've taken it, because to get the pistol thing, they don't really touch on pistols, anything like that. So the other form is to take a NRA safety class, which is sanctioned out by an NRA certified instructor to do these classes, and I think honestly you learn more for sure from that. When I took it, when I first came back here buying guns, I actually learned a lot from it. So, and it's a decent class. It's really good because they teach you a little bit about the Hawaii laws and what you can and can't do. They go into more depth on that, and then of course the safety, definitely the safety. So anyway, once you get that done, you'll have like a certificate, and you can go to the store, the gun shop, and just say, hey, I'm looking at that Glock right there, okay, so they're going to give you the form of Glock 23, or whatever it is, serial number, caliber, the action. Take that to the police department. You apply for the permit for that. That's going to take a couple of weeks, and then once it comes through, you go and get it, and you go to the gun shop, pick up the gun, and then go register it. I know it sounds like a maze to go through, but honestly, once you get used to it, I'm pretty used to it. It's kind of just going through the motions really out here. So in a sense, it's like a waiting period. So all semi-auto, all handguns, restricted to 10 rounds. So anyway, it is a kind of a restrictive state. I'm not gonna lie. They're not gonna sugarcoat that. Okay, but it's not bad as some of the others. Okay. Oh, and for pretty much, I'll throw in this, no extra charge. You can't get any kind of ammunition or powder, primers, gun oil for that matter. I can't get Ballistol shipped to my door. You can get, there are people that do ammo orders and they pay out the yin yang for hazmat fees, and the only way it's worth it, they got to order pallets of it. So okay, let's move on here. Okay, this is a cool question. This came from S-Man 222222. He asked, how do I store the guns out here? Interesting, because the climate out here is a lot of salt in the air. How do you store guns and keep them from rusting? If you're a gun collector like myself, you definitely don't want to come to your safe later on and find out all your nice safe queens are full of rust. Okay, all right, S-Man. My method is, I guess you could say at first, the people I've had, my friends' kids always ask me this too. Let's start to where I got the idea. I got the idea, first of all, by saving space in the safe. Just basically being able to pile stuff in there. A friend of mine was showing me that, because the way he keeps them, he's got these special gun sock sleeve things. It's got a little Velcro thing, and it's kind of cut out in the shape of the gun, and it's impregnated with silicone. So he says, oh, this will stop it from rusting and all that. I looked at it and I said, how much are those things? They're like 10, 15 bucks a pop. And I'm like, I'm cheap. I just, okay. So what I figured was, I got an old sock, and I sprayed it down with silicone or gun oil or whatever you want to treat it, and that's it. I store my guns in there, just like that. And I have not had any rust issues. Of course, now that I say that, but yeah, no, that's it. I just grab an old sock, and that's how I store it. I had basically had a bunch of socks that were getting worn out, or they don't function right anymore or whatever, and my friends go, Uncle, why do you always store your guns in socks? Or what is that, a sock? Yeah, mainly because I'm cheap, and I wanted to basically be able to stack 4 or so pistols in one cubby and have them leaning up against each other and not marring them up. And it does. It helps protect them, and it works. And it works for me out here in Hawaii. It does work. And of course, in the things to draw out the moisture. Okay. Richard Landeros. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Richard. He asked what kind of boots do I wear. Yes, I am kind of a cowboy at heart, being a big John Wayne movie fan, Western movies and all that kind of stuff. Richard, I wear Tony Lamas. That's my favorite kind of boot. They're comfortable. I like them, and they last. And I wear them, and I got a pair that I wear mostly. They're brown, and they've been through every kind of terrain I think I can think of. Okay, so some stuff that we got coming up, get you guys cued in. Oh, you know, Glocks, man, they're really cool. I always, at first, if you can believe it, I did not like them. But they grew on me, and the more and more I checked them out, the more I started to like them. But this one is my Glock 23 Gen 4, and oops, did I grab the wrong magazine? Yes, I did. This happens to be a Glock 19 magazine, 9mm. I wonder why I have it in my 40. Oh, that's right. So check this out, guys. Just for you folks, I was interested in looking at, hopefully you've seen my one video. We had a barrel lent to us from a local viewer, a fan, a friend, and it was a Lone Wolf conversion barrel to shoot the Glock 23, and it's a 40 caliber, and shoot 9s. Well, coming out, we are going to have a video on, because I contacted them, and they were nice enough to give me a little bit of a discount on the price and make it affordable, because it's a little bit more expensive, but not too much, by Lone Wolf Distributors. I'm going to be testing out for you folks. Hopefully it arrives soon, and I can get to the range and test it out and get the video up soon for you folks. But it is the Alpha Wolf barrel. It's really cool because they have a finish on it that is similar to the Tennifer finish, if I'm saying that right. That's what they say. I've kind of been trying to read up on it a little bit before I get it and everything like that. But when I get it, my idea for the video is definitely to open it up and do it. Everything right there for you guys on camera. No editing, no nothing like that. So if we miss, we miss. You know, all that kind of stuff. As I'm a bad shot to begin with. No, I wanted to check it out. It's the Alpha Wolf barrel from Lone Wolf Distributors. It's a fairly new product from what I understand. The fella I talked to on the phone said it was kind of new. They only just came out with it back in December of last year, so it's pretty new on the market. I can't wait to get it in my hands and try it out and video it and show you guys on video all about it. Of course, you know, we're gonna be. I want to kind of stick to it. I did get a Glock 19 mag to run it, but I'm not gonna change out the spring and everything like that. Hopefully, you can get to the market and maybe pick up some different ammo for you. The funds are running low, so we've already spent some money trying to get the barrel. But again, Lone Wolf Distributors, Luke down there, he's a customer service rep. He was nice enough to give it to us for a discount, so it was a little bit cheaper on our pockets, as we don't have too much funding for the YouTube as we'd like to. So I hope we can get more cash flowing for the YouTube channel, so we can branch out and get more guns and more other cool stuff for to try out for the channel. So hey, help us, support us. You know, let's try to do this. But we're doing it with this Lone Wolf barrel. I can't wait to get it. And what I liked the most about it was it's black. Now I know some people like it, some people don't, but for me, I like the way the Glock looks all dressed in its black glory. The standard barrel, the stainless steel barrel with its silver, I just didn't like the way it contrasted. I don't know. I would still have it, but anyway. I got these really cool knives. This is what I started off with, is a buck 110. Everybody knows what those look like. This is my knife I've had for a long time. Very cool. I even got my Batjack JW stamp on it. But the cool thing is about this is I was carrying this a lot at work where I was working at the time, and a good close friend of mine, he is like my brother. We did a little horse trading, and he had a 112, I believe it's called. And it's kind of cool because it's a smaller 110. Same knife, only a lot smaller. A lot more, you know, if you didn't want to carry this knife. It kind of, in the end, when you look at this knife, you're like, wow, that's a big knife. You know, as, you know, that's not a knife, no. So, I figured I'd show and tell that. That's really cool. I've had this for a long time. I even put Bat Jack JW on the leather sheath. I don't know if you can read it in the video. Maybe I'll show it to you in another video, close-up video. But, alright, so, Puzzle Man. I know somebody, somebody had said, I think I know the answer to that. These things have always caught my attention, mainly because when I was in, what grade was that? I think I want to say sixth grade. There was a teacher that had a bunch of these in her classroom, and that's when I kind of got a fascination with them. These are called Tavern Puzzles, made by the Tucker Jones Company. I've obtained quite a few of them, so maybe we'll incorporate some more of these in these radio videos here. JW's radio, right? So the solution, because obviously you see there's a triangle on the bottom, the ring can't go through the triangle, and the ring can't go through the cross. So how do you get it off? Well, it's simple. There's a reason why it folds. You bring up this whole unit right here and slip the ring around through there, and it comes right off. Interesting, huh? I like this one because it's so simple. Some of them are like, oh yeah, if you do this, it's like 42 moves later. Okay, I'm lost. Alright, so, and remember, if you're going to do these, the whole complete of the puzzle is to remove and put back. So, putting it back, letting it come back around, and it gets caught back right there. Pretty cool, huh? I like these things. They're really neat. They're really fun. I like these brain teasers, although they sometimes drive me nuts. Model 19 Smith & Wesson. That's what we got out here. I like this gun. A little show and tell. This one is an older one. It's got the pin barrel and recessed cylinders. That means when you put the round in, they sit flush. And that sets it back through some time. K-frame. 357 Magnum. This thing is cool. Not only just the history and Bill Jordan and everything with it. When I first saw this gun, when I first saw this gun, I had to have it. The fella, you know, that showed it to me, I knew I had to have this gun. And oops, moving the table on me. You know, these things are not old Smiths like this, you know, and then of course now with the key lock stuff coming out. Now, I want to talk a little bit of my opinion on that. It's cool, but you know, the only thing that I appreciated is like, okay, if you're going to add that key lock, but they're still offering these old classics, I'll accept that. You know, I'll deal with that key lock, you know. I don't like it at all. But if it means that I can still go out and buy one of their brand new, you know, revolvers that is made like the way these classics are, I'll deal with it. You know, some of these classics are getting far out of my pocket range now. When I was buying a lot of these, I was paying prices that at the time I thought were high, but now I'm looking at it and I'm like, whoa, what happened here? You know, these things have either doubled or tripled their price since I bought one. And it makes me look back and go, I should have bought more of them. But no, this is a cool one, you know, with the history of everything, you know, Bill Jordan, everything, 4-inch configuration, and of course, who carries one of these in a great movie? Danny Glover does in Lethal Weapon, even though the director's anti-gun. Alright, but cool gun, K-frame, 6-shot, 4-inch barrel, 357 Magnum, original walnut grips or gun call alves or whatever they were making them out of. Wide hammer, wide trigger, adjustable rear sights, you know, and everything. I can't wait. We'll take this thing out to the range and shoot it some for you folks. It's a really cool gun. I like K-frames. They're just the perfect, you know, happy medium gun. Anyway, we got some of that stuff going on. Hopefully you've seen it, the wax bullet to see if it'll break glass. Hopefully you've seen that video. Go back and watch it. It's on the channel. Came out yesterday. Okay, so as always, we're going to wrap it up, but some stuff for next time. Let's see, for next radio show when you tune in. Okay, obviously, you got more questions, leave them below in the comments for us to answer on the next radio show. Keep this going. It's cool. I'd like to interact with you folks, get you folks involved in the Bat Jack channel. So go ahead and leave your questions below. Family friendly, please. Leave them below, you know, so we can do these videos and answer them for you. I enjoy doing it. I'd like to get you folks involved in these videos, and it's a good also way to do some shout outs and stuff like that. And thank you, you know, for supporting and being a subscriber and all that stuff. So as for next time, we'll incorporate it. Bat Jack JW was, well, I guess I still am. I guess I could get it renewed. I was an NRA certified safety instructor for pistols for the state of Hawaii. Or I guess I could take it to any state, but anyway, we'll talk about that. That was an interesting story and how I got to doing that, and it was, in a sense, I want to try to share it with you in a sense because it had a negative fallout, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to JW's Radio. I'll catch you next time. Please leave the questions below so we can get to the next radio show and we'll incorporate some more stuff. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We're clicking out.